Hello, this is Leatherpreneur and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this double-sided dope kit. This is a really functional pouch, and this is the fourth project from Bundle'25. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you can get updates whenever new designs drop. Without wasting much time, let's get right into this tutorial. So to start with, cut out all the fabric pieces you'll be needing, and this includes the exterior fabric and interior fabric. For the exterior fabrics, you will need 2 pieces from pattern A and 1 piece from pattern B. Then next we have C, which is the plain fabric, and you just need 1 piece for this pattern G, which you cut from your pattern that is labeled as G. The rest of these are for the interior, and that includes piece D, which is 2 cuts. Then we have pattern F. For this we have 2 pieces. Then lastly we have pattern E, for which we have 4 pieces to cut out. Then you need your zipper tapes, 2 long zipper tapes for the main compartment and 2 shorter zipper tapes for the interior pockets. And lastly, you need 4 zipper pulls that will fit your zipper tape. So I have 2 different zipper pulls here. These 2 are for the exterior and these 2 are for the interior. With all of these sets, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is add middle notches to all of these pieces, A, B, C, D, and E, just these 5 pieces. Then add middle notches to all of these zipper tapes as well. So once you are done adding middle notches to all these pieces, let's start with the interior part of this pouch. So I'll be setting aside all of these exterior pieces and these 2 longer zipper tapes. Then I'll start with all of the interior pieces, then these 2 shorter zipper tapes and 2 zipper pulls for the interior. So open this to the right side. For these D pieces, we are going to do some extra work sandal, and I'm going to do this one at a time. I'll do this first, then duplicate whatever I do on this second piece. So for this, bring the patterned oil, place this pattern at the top here, then mark these 2 points for the interior pocket facing. After marking, come over to this bottom side and trim off these bottom parts by 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. Then after you've trimmed this, you need to add another middle notch since we already cut off the one that was there earlier. So here it is. Let's go ahead is fixing the zipper within this area we marked for the facing. This piece F is the facing, and this is what we need to do. For this format within the facing, join each point to create a rectangle. I've done this marking on the wrong side. So once you've done this, bring this piece over, place it to align with the marked points. Make sure the points touch the corners of this piece. Then you can clip this in place. Once you clip, you need to go ahead and stitch following this line of the rectangle. And here it is. So after stitching, draw out a triangle on each of these corners. Then just connect the top of each of these triangles. So once you do this, all you need to do now is cut open along this line. Careful not to cut your stitch when doing this. Now after cutting, what we need to do now is fold in this facing piece. So this is what we have after turning it inwards. And here's the wrong side. So once you've done this, let's go ahead to make the zipper pocket that we need to stitch within this opening. And that is where we need 1 piece of this zipper tape, then 2 E pieces, then place them wrong side up. Then bring in one of the shorter zipper tapes and place that right side up between these 2 pieces. Once all tapes are centered, grab the edge of the interior fabric piece together with the edge of the zipper and hold the edges upwards like this. Align the notches and clip both pieces together. Then do the same for this other interior fabric. Grab the edge of it with the other edge of this zipper. Grab both of them together like this. Make sure both edges are facing upwards. Align the notches, then clip both sides together. So once we have this, what we need to do now is join this side along the edge and join this other side along the edge. And we are joining using a seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. And here it is after stitching. Next thing to do is leave this piece flat out like this. Slide in one zipper full. Think over this piece. Make sure the folding is still intact. Then center it over the zipper. You can use this facing piece at the back to center the zipper. The length of this facing is the same as length of this pocket piece. If I use this triangular edge here, center it over the zipper coil. Make sure the edges are even. Then you can clip this first. Then go on to the other side. Center this triangular edge. Then make sure the edges are even as well. Then you can clip together. So once you have this, you can then go ahead to stitch all around this opening very close to this folded edge, and be stitching with a seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. So here's what you have after stitching. Make sure you finish the thread on the wrong side of the zipper. That will give you a better finishing. Once you have this, flip over the top part of the pocket lining like this. Next thing we need to do is join the sides of the pockets. So we're joining along the right side here, just the pocket pieces, then along the left side here. This is it after stitching along both sides. I reinforce the stitch at the edge, at the bottom of this shorter lining fabric, not at the bottom of the longer one. And that's because we need to trim down what is left outside the edge of the shorter fabric so that both pieces will be even. I'm going to trim this down. We're going to trim down on the sides. Now we're almost done with the interior pockets. What we're going to do next is take all the steps for attaching the zipper pockets on this piece and repeat those steps on this twin piece here. And by that I mean from where we marked the point for the zipper facing to trimming at the bottom here, and finally to closing up the sides of this piece. So this is it. For the second perfect piece, I'm going to close the opening at the bottom here. But for this first one, I'm going to leave it open like this. So with this one open like this, I will also open the zipper, and as you can see my hands coming out from the back of it. Now go ahead and close off the bottom of this pocket. After stitching this, it means we are done with this second lining piece as well. I'll add the two interior main pockets complete. We'll proceed with the exterior part of the pouch. So here's all the exterior fabric pieces we need. I will start with assembling 1, 2, 3, these 3 pieces. Place this upright like this. Then align the sides where the lengths of them are equal. So if I place it like this, it is not equal. So, but like this, the lengths are equal. So with both of them like this, flip this over so that both pieces are right sides together. Then stitch along the edge of it, and we'll be stitching with a seam allowance of 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. After stitching, flip this pattern piece to the right side and make sure that the fabric from the seam is folded on the plain fabric, not on the pattern piece. Next thing we'll do is add the top stitch along the folded edge of the plain fabric. So here is what we have. Please note that if you are going to add your brand label to this part of the pouch, it is at this point you need to fix it. So fix it here. Then go ahead to join this second piece. So we're placing it upside down. This is right side up like this, so it will be flipped and positioned upside down. Then we'll be joining this edge to the edge of this, just like we did for this part. So flip this over so that both of these pieces are right sides together. Align the notch, then join by stitching with a seam allowance of 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. After stitching, flip this over to the right side and make sure that the fabric from the seam is lying underneath the plain fabric and not on this pattern piece, just like we did for this part. You can now go ahead to give this a top stitch along the folded edge on this fabric, and you'll be stitching with a seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. So this is what we have after joining the main exterior pieces together, and we'll set this piece aside for now. Next, we'll move on to the zipper pieces, and for that we need this piece labeled B, this exterior pattern piece, then the 2 longer zipper tips. From the beginning we already had them middle notches, so we'll just proceed from there. What we need to do at this point is join both of these zipper tips to this zipper panel piece here. So we'll do that one at a time. First is this upper piece, flip it so that both of these are right sides together, align the edges and especially align the notch, then join both of them together using the seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. Here's what we have after joining, and this is the wrong side of it. So we'll go ahead to join this second piece. Just fold this over, clip the zipper take over so that both of these are right sides together, align the notch, make sure the edges are evenly positioned, stitch to join this together, and you'll be stitching with a seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. This is what we have after stitching, and this is the wrong side of it. So I'll just place one of these over the other, then we'll continue from here. Our next step is joining both of these interior fabric pieces to the zipper panel, and we join along the sides that are empty. This side that we trimmed up some few steps back, that's the side we'll be joining to the zipper panel. So we just laid out like this. The wrong side of the zipper is up. Place this is the right side of the lining piece, so place it over the zipper, align the notch and make sure that it lines up evenly with the edge of the zipper panel piece, and stitch using a seam allowance of 8 millimeters for as far as your zipper foot will go. So here it is after joining. It is not a very important thing at this point. When joining this, make sure that this second zipper, make sure you bring it out from underneath this top zipper and make sure it is lying flat out before joining this piece. Otherwise, you'll be stitching this together with all of this. So once you're done with this, flip this to the right side, fold the fabric from the seam and make sure it lies underneath this zipper panel fabric. Then add a top stitch along the folded edge of the fabric. This is what we have after stitching, and we're done with this side of the pouch. From what we have here, you can see that this pouch has 2 compartments. At this time, we're done with this first compartment. Then for the second compartment, we'll repeat the same steps like we did here. So for the zipper tape, fold it over like it was before. Then it is easier to position it this way. Then bring this second interior lining piece over this edge that I referred to earlier, where we trimmed down at the beginning. Line this edge with the zipper. I am placing this right sides together with this line. So we place this over the zipper, align the notch, line up the edges accurately, and we'll be stitching with a seam allowance of 8 millimeters or just as far as your presser foot will go. Like after stitching, fold this over to the right side, then fold the fabric from the seam and make sure it is lined underneath this zipper file. Add one last top stitch to the zipper panel piece. The top stitch is along this folded edge and we're stitching with a seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. Now we are done top stitching. This is what we have. Now the next major step is to assemble all of these pieces together, and by that I mean with the exterior fabric piece. Now this next few steps, they are going to look kind of tricky, but if you follow me slowly, I'll try and explain in as much details as I can explain, and once you follow every step of it, I'm very certain you'll be able to make this pouch easy. But before we get out assembly, let's make the grab handle for this pouch, because along the line we need to fit in the grab handle, so I don't want to break up the assembling process, but just to make the grab handle later on. So let's do that right now. And here is the piece for the handle. As you can see, I've added a line in the middle that divides this into 2, so you need to do this first, then fold in the edges to meet the line. Do this on one side, then do the same on the other side. So once you have this folded, fold again to hide the raw edges. After clipping, go ahead to stitch along the edge of this here, along this upper edge here. then along this lower edge here. So this is our handle after stitching. This is all we need to do for the handle, and I'll set this aside for when we need it later on. Now for this, we need to join this zipper tip to the edges of this pattern fabric here and here. And to make that very easy for us, I'm going to open up each of these zipper pieces. So just peel this side open, then peel this other side open. Now just take this and keep it close by. Then proceed to join these zipper pieces. Note the right side of the zipper. Then place it right sides together with this exterior fabric piece. Align the notch, line up the edges. Once you have this lined up, do the same for this other side. Now our those pieces clip together. The next thing we'll do is join along the edge here, and we'll be stitching with a seam allowance of 3 mm or 1/8 of an inch along this edge and along this edge. And here we are. After joining the zipper, the next thing to do before proceeding with any other stitching is to cut out a cardboard. So this cardboard measures around 1.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters or around 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. With this cardboard, we need to make some marks on this lining piece. As you can see, this lining piece, it is placed wrong side up. This is the right side of the lining, and this is the wrong side. So lay it out wrong side up and mark these points I'll be indicating. From this zipper side here, these corners, just put a dot here and a dot here on these elliptic corners here. Do the same on the opposite side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points in the middle. Then on the right end, put a dot here on the corner that is inside, not the corner that is outside. So this corner inside, 1 here, the opposite side, 1 here. So we have 2 dots here. Then on the left wing, put a dot here and put a dot here. So we have 1 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points that I need to mark. So using this cardboard cutter earlier, position this to match the angles on the points we marked earlier, then trace out. This is what I have here. On this side, position it like this and trace. So I have this here. Then do that for all the other corners. Now I have all the corners marked. Then we can proceed from here. Since these are 2 separate compartments, we'll be working on 1 compartment at a time. So I'll start with this side first. And that means I'll be joining this exterior fabric piece to this side of the pouch first. So what you need to do is place this exterior piece, place it right side up, then bring over the lining piece and place it over it. So we're placing both pieces right sides together. Align the notch, line up the edge, then stitch to join both of these pieces together. I'll be stitching with a seam allowance of 6 mm or 1/4 of an inch, or just as far as your presser foot will go when stitching. And here it is. So after this stitch, flip the exterior fabric piece over. So it is now over the lining piece and both of the wrong sides are together. Then press down the edge and stitch. We'll be stitching along this zipper edge here. We're stitching with a seam allowance of 3 mm or 1/8 of an inch. So here's what we have after stitching. And here's the lining side of it. Now we'll do something really quick. Open up this pocket size and trim down this upper part of the pocket. Then trim down this side as well. Then let's go on it. What we were doing earlier. Now, so that it does not get confusing, we'll need to fold this pocket in and just clip this. So just fold it. Then let's go on with this pocket. So what we'll do next is open up this piece laid out like this. We already folded this side, so it remains folded. Open up the remaining of this with the wrong side up, then flip it to the right side. Bring this zipper over to meet this zipper here. So this is like 2 halves. So once you bring it over like this, we have a full zipper piece, right? So slide in your zipper at this point. I've slided the zipper pull all the way out. I'm going to slide it in again because I need this zipper all closed up. So I'll slide this in again. Okay. What to do next is fold this exterior piece over to the left side. Then take these two edges here and match them together. Then to the bottom part, these two lining edges, match them together. So once you flip both sides together, you can turn this over, then match this point here to this edge, then match this other edge to this empty side here and clip. Now if you look at this like this, we have 4 points that are clipped. So what I'm going to do next is stitch these clipped parts. To stitch these parts, you just need to follow this angled mark we made earlier. So you're stitching inside the mark, not on the line, not outside the line, but inside the line we made earlier. So we will stitch for each of the parts we clipped. We'll stitch inside the line here. For this one, you also stitch inside the line. Then number 3, stitch inside the line. Then number 4, stitch inside the line. So leave these other parts alone. They are just there. Don't let them confuse you. Just focus on the parts that are clipped for now and go ahead to stitch them. Now here it says after stitching. As you can see, the stitch is only inside the line, not on the line, not outside the line, but the inside of it. So I've done that for 1, 2, 3, 4, like I mentioned. Now I'm almost done with one of the compartments. All we need to do next is trimming inside these boxes that we stitched earlier. So here's how you do that. Position this like this with the stitch part, one facing the bottom like this, then the other facing like this. Don't position the fabric like this to the sides. No, position it like this. Then take one of the boxes and trim very close to this stitch. You are trimming vertically and not horizontally. So vertically like this up to this stitch line here. Just a single snip. Okay, this is just what you need to do. Then do the same on this side, close to the stitch line. I can draw out the line if you like. Then one single snip. This is what you need. So here is just what we need. Then flip this to the other side and repeat the same step. One snip close to the stitch line, then one again here. So here's what we need. When you've done that, then align this edges here, this folded edge. Make sure this angle it is smooth and even. Then add a notch here on this folded parts here. Do the same for all 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go on with this side as well. Add a notch. Then lastly on this side, add a notch. So now we have 4 notches on the folded edges. What we'll do next is align this notch to this joining here on each side. Here to this side, here to this side, here to this side, and here to this side. So let's start with this. That means you have to open this up like this. Align the notch to the same line. Here is a stitch line. So align the notch to that point. Then once you're able to do this, you realize that it's just a bit tight here. You just hold on carefully. So once you do this, you realize why we trimmed this earlier. So this trimming allows us to be able to fold the fabric either way. So it can go like this, but it can go like this. Regardless, it allows us to stitch on this part. You can clip this together. Then go ahead and stitch along this line here, and you are joining the seam allowance of 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. So before we do that, we need to make the other 4 sides the same way. So I'll fold this either ways and where to fold it like this. Then make sure it is aligned. Then clip. So I'll go ahead and stitch. Now this is what it looks like after stitching. This looks like a complete compartment already, and we're going to leave this like this. So let's proceed to the second one. Can remove this clip. As you can see, this finished compartment is in the middle. I'll add the exterior here and the second lining piece here. So leave this to the right side. Then place these two pieces, the fabric and the lining, right sides together. So I'll be bringing the lining over the exterior fabric piece, over the zipper. Then align the notch on the lining with that on the zipper. Line the edges properly. Then clip. After clipping, go ahead and stitch using a seam allowance of 6 millimeters or a quarter of an inch. Now after stitching, we need to turn this out the right side so that we can add the top stitch along the zipper edge. So I'll quickly turn this out. Only this part. It will be difficult to turn this part out at this time, so just leave it like this. Then turn out only the needed area. So once you have the zipper out and the edges pressed down, then go ahead to add the top stitch along the folded edge. Now here is what we have after top stitching. This is exterior fabric side and this is the interior fabric side. So with this done, just fold this back in so that we are now back to having everything wrong side out. So once you have this, it is time to make the second compartment just like we did for this. And here's how to go about it in a way that won't be confusing. So just leave this part, leave it aside, then focus on this part and focus on these 4 points. You have 4 of it left. So this is 1, 2, then this is 3, and this is 4. So this is what we're going to focus on. Now, take this first point here and match it with this opposite point of it here. This point closest to it here. Match them right sides together. Then click. Do the same for the bottom side. Take this point, match it to the side closest to it, this point here, right sides together. Then clip. Then we'll have 2 points left, right? Before we attach these 2 last points, we need to slide in our zipper. So check, just open this and check the direction towards which the zipper goes. You can just bring this out slightly. So for my zipper, it goes this way. And I need both zippers to go the same way, the same direction. Now, when zipper goes this way, it means the carry handle or the grab handle will be at the end of where the zipper stops. So we have to carry the bag like this. Now, I need to put the handle around this side here. So what I will do is I will just mark these points so that I can know which side to put the handle at the point where we need to fix it. The pen is not showing on this, so I'm going to mark by sliding in a pin inside the zipper. If you can mark yours, then that's beautiful. That's fine, you can go on. So let's go back to sliding in the zipper like this. So I'm going to start from here and slide it in. So remember, we are sliding in the zipper twice. So I'll slide this in the first time. Then slide it in a second time. Okay, just leave it in the middle there. Now let's go back to this second compartment we're working on. So I still have the 2 clips here, and as you can see, this is already forming like the final pockets. So if you have something like this where the exterior fabric is already curved like this, so what you need to do is turn it out from the lining part here. So just do this gently so that it does not affect the zipper. If you want to have it out like this, then you can continue with stitching this lining piece. These last 2 points here and here, So we need to match them, and we're matching with this. We'll match this and clip. Then match this as well and clip. Okay, now we have 4 points stitch. Then, like we did for this side, let's add middle notches to the folded angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this one, make sure it is even as well. 2. Then this one, 3. And the 4th one, make sure it is even. And 4. Like we did for this first compartment, we are going to have to stitch on these corners. So stitch inside the line like this, and we are going to do that for 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 angles. So here it is, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we need to finish up these compartments, and we are almost done. So what we need to do now is snip these angles here and here, just like we did here. Position is like this, not like this, but like this, vertically. Then take the angles we stitched earlier and snip vertically. So we are snipping after this stitch here and not inside here. So just one snip only up to this other stitch here. So like this. And the other one just inside of this angle, but very close to the vertical stitch. So just one snip. Okay. Then flip to the other side and add this. Make sure this exterior fabric is not in the way. Roll this out, then snip for this as well. Snip. Okay. When you push out the outside of this pouch, the exterior fabric, to find out that it is now between these 2 pockets, these 2 interior pockets. So what you will do is identify the pocket that is with the compartment that is finished already, then clip both the exterior fabric and that pocket, clip them together. Then we are left with this incomplete compartment. Our next step is to align these notches on the folded angle to the stitch lines here, just like we did for the other pocket. So let's do this. This is the notch, and this is the stitch line here. Align both together, clip this. Okay. Just going to fold this out of the way. Then this other side, also align the notch. Then clip as well. So this is what we have. Now go ahead and stitch. And we're stitching to the seam allowance of 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. Here it is, we are done with the second compartment. Okay. Now this is what we need to do next. We need to bring out this exterior fabric piece. And to do that, gently push this in like this. And watch the zipper. This zipper here is already opening, so watch out for the zippers when turning out. So once you've turned this out, this is what we have. Now we can see both compartments. There's a space in the middle here. Now let's go on with the rest of the tutorial. So for this interior compartment, we have openings below the zipper here. So we have it for all 4 ends. So 1 for the other compartments, 2 the other side, 3, and here 4. For these openings, line up the edges and stitch. Just stitch to close it up, just along the edge. A seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch will do. So we'll do it for all 4 sides. So here it is I'm gonna add to stitch close the opening. So what we'll do next is trim down the zipper. It's so that the edges will be neat all along this line. So here and here. Now the next step is to join this. At this point, we need to consider where to add the carry handle. So remember the points where I added the pin. In here, the pin is still there. So we'll be adding the handle to this side. To make that easier, I'll start joining from this side. We're not yet adding this, as we need to stitch this together first. If you follow all the same allowance at these joining points from all the previous steps, the length of what you have here will be the same to the length of this. So it is easy to match the edges without needing any adjustment. Once you match the edge like this, all we need to do now is join this together. And the seam allowance is half of an inch or 1.25 centimeters. So here and on the other side, they use the same seam allowance. So once you line this up, you can just clip to hold it together. Then I'll go ahead and stitch using the seam allowance I mentioned earlier. It will be difficult to stitch on this exterior fabric. So you have to lay the fabric like this, fold in the lining piece. We can always straighten this out later. So fold this in, make sure it lays flat on your sewing machine, then stitch. Now this is what I have after joining. As you can see, this is the stitch line and this is it here, so that we will know that this is the side we want to fix the handle to. So just put the clip there for the sake of identity. Then go ahead to join this side as well, just like we did for this side. Line up the edges, clip both pieces together, then press down the interior lining piece, then stitch. Join using a seam allowance of half of an inch or 1.25 centimeters. So here it is after stitching the other side as well. Now I'm going to just remove this clip and instead add a mark here, just X mark. And this will be the new sign that the carry handle is going to be on this side of the pouch. We need to proceed to the last step of making this pouch. What you need to do first is pass your hands through any of these openings to open up the main zipper. This is a bit tight, but pass through any of the openings to check for where the zipper is. So just button it up. Like I've catch the zipper from the other side here. Here, as so. So open up this side, then move on to the other side. Just pass your hands through both openings. Then find the zipper pull and fold it back on. So I found the second one. Now I'll both sides open. Now let's go ahead to finish the sides of this main exterior fabric. Now what you do is note these angles here, here, and here. So you can use your pen to mark that here, this angle, and this angle. So we have that for all four sides. 1, 2, 3 over here, and 4 over here. So let's start with this place I marked. Now once you note these angles, you need to pinch one on your right and one on your left. Just pinch like this, then pinch the second one. Once you have grabbed both angles, then pull them opposite side. Once you pull it like this, you have a straight edge here. And at this point, you can now clip to hold the straight edge here. Now I can do this for all four sides first. So I'll do it for this other side as well. Pinch the angle, pinch the second angle, then pull, then clip. So now we have the four sides clipped. Next is to do some stitching. And I'm going to start with this side here I marked. Like I mentioned, this mark means that we'll be adding the carry handle on this side. For this carry handle, I have to fit it from the inside. So what I will do is loosen this side first. You know this join is, it is joined right here and it is joined right here. Now if you look at this stitch here, the stitch carries a top stitch. Now if you look at the other stitch, it doesn't carry a top stitch. This one without the top stitch is our point of focus here. It is where I'll fix the handle to. For me, this is the right side of the carry handle. So the right side facing you like this, just dip this carry handle inside this hole and it should be centered on this stitch line here like this. So this is what you need when attaching the carry handle. So we're not yet done. To make it easier to stitch, you need to trim down this seam. So just give it a diagonal trim. Don't go too much, just slightly, to reduce the bulk on this side. And once you center the handle with the join line, you can now clip this first. Then line this up back like it was before we removed the clip earlier. So once you line this off, you can now hold all pieces together. Then reclip all of it. Okay, now we have the handle attached there. As you can see, this is it. Now this is intact. Off to the second side, open up the clip. Now we need to look for the other end of the handle. Just go underneath this base fabric, then look for the handle. It shouldn't take long. Yep, I found it. So here it is. So but you need to make sure that it is straight. So just feel the inside of it. I won't be able to show you this because we can't really see the inside of the pouch. So just feel for the handle. And once I do this, I can feel it is straight already. This is the other end of it and this is it. If it is twisted, it will be like this and I'll be able to feel a bulk underneath this fabric board. If it is straight, there is no bulk. I can feel it flat like this. So this is the wrong side of the carry handle. Where we need to place this is here on this join line, center it, and then clip. Now after clipping, go back to pinch the angles and flatten this out like it was before we remove the clip. Once you have this, hold all pieces together firmly, remove this clip, then reclip all pieces. So let's just go ahead and stitch. I will be stitching to close up these open sides using a seam allowance of 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. So here it is after stitching. So when stitching, these corners are a bit tight, so you need to be really patient with stitching this side. Now just trim this down a bit, just slightly. And make sure you reinforce the stitches at the beginning and at the end. Then finally, we need to turn out this to the right side. And we're going to do that through the opening in this pocket we left earlier. The zipper is already open inside. So what you need to do is just pass your hand through. As you can see, my hands are right here, but we are not going towards the lining side. We'll be going towards the exterior fabric side. So twist this over and as you can see, my hands are here, the exterior fabric side. Then this bottom plain fabric here, just grab it and pull out. Go gently. There's a lot to pull out at this point. So just push it out gently, carefully. You can push with your hand here. Be patient with this, please. Yeah, and this is it. I once this out, just adjust everything that needs to be adjusted. Phew. So I go back in to adjust these corners. And I think there's nothing else we'll be restitching or changing with this. So I'm going to go ahead to close up to this opening. To do that, we need to fold this in by 1 centimeter. Just folding. Fold this in as well. Then click. Go ahead to stitch up this opening. I will be stitching using the seam allowance of 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. And here it is after stitching. I maintain the black so that you can see the stitch. Now after closing up the pockets, just push it in. Make sure you push the corners in properly, the bottom corners. Then zip this up. Then go ahead to adjust the corners for these interior pockets. Now this is it for the Jemini dupe kit, and it was such a ride, but anytime I finish making this, I always feel like it is worth it. And I noticed that the more I make this, the easier it gets actually. So when you make this for the first time, do not get discouraged if you do not get the perfect results that you wanted. But I always try this out more times, and as I say, practice is all we need to attain perfection. So here is a double compartment pouch. And here is the final result of it. Now this brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I'm so excited to see your version of the Gemini dupe kit. Please share with me in our Facebook support group, and I'll be really glad to see your version of this pouch. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this tutorial, and I hope to see you in the 5th project for our Bundle 25. Happy sewing and see you again soon.